Welcome to Sage Circle, I'm Amythyst. Today we're doing channeled messages from Isis, and the second pile is channeled messages from Horus. This deck is an original from the 80s, the mid 80s, and I bought it off a friend of mine, shout out to Cameron. He had found them at an auction house getting some things for himself, and he grabbed them. And this is a deck. There are only a few thousand of these made. This is an original box. This is an original deck. And they're worth quite a bit of money now. So I'm in two minds about what to do with the deck. I will keep it, but you probably won't see me use it too often. I'm going to make a copy of this deck with my scanner and printer and things like that, so I can put the original away and get it insured with everything else. So first of all, as you guys know, I do not use WhatsApp. I do not cold canvas. I won't contact you looking for a booking to be laid down. If anybody's mimicking me or myself, please, or my channel I should say, please contact YouTube and me directly. If you do want a booking, my deets are in the description box. I am on Facebook as Sage Circle, and then in brackets is my name, Amythyst Black. Some people get confused. I also have a group on Facebook. It's now private. It is called Sage Circle as well. So you can find it if you like. It's the same picture, profile picture for the group as it is for the YouTube channel. Okay, shout out to everybody who I love and care for. You know who you are. Thank you very much. A lot of good energy, a lot of movement going on for people at the moment. And even if it's just in small increments, just little things that are happening to sort of build a bigger picture from down the line. This is fantastic. This is all the energy from the last few months to do with the moons and the double moon in Aquarius and all that sorts of stuff. So we're now seeing things coming to fruition. So let's go from there. Like I said, I really don't know, well, I didn't say it, but I don't know what these particular cards are properly yet, but I have printed off a PDF copy of all their meanings. I didn't have the book that come with it, which is fine. So you just have to be patient with me. But what I'm going to do is remove the second pile. This is Horus. If you choose Horus, I'll put your pile to the side. And the first pile is Isis, and there's a couple of other cards behind it that we'll go through as well. So this is pile one. I'll sit her down there. We're going to go through what this particular channeled message from Isis is going to be about. We'll get into that right now. Let's go. So Isis is the patron of mothers, compassion, stoic arts and perseverance, maternal love and nurturing, and is about help from the other side being at hand. The issue in question, or whatever you're listening for, should be persevered with, nurtured and not pushed forward too quickly, and to trust your intuition, for something may be hidden from you at this point in time. This is the energy this card associates with psychic and spiritual development, about trusting your intuition, a period of going within to plant seeds for the next stage of your life, a time to retreat or of retreat to absorb lessons learned on a physical level, and it could be about people involved with the welfare of others, the caring professions, etc. And it's a time for taking time out for self-care and getting close to nature, walking in the park or along a beach, for example. Okay, and that's really important that that's come up, because I did just say that the energy with this double pile is about the work that we've done, the seeds that have been planted. So Spirit's saying we're on the right path. The other cards that I've pulled out, shuffled, that go with that deck behind the Isis card, I'll get into a bit later. So let's not mess around. Let's get straight into these cards. Isis, can you please come in? Just give me a minute, guys. I'm going to start channeling. Oh, woo! Isis is here. I've done some, when I knew I was getting these cards, I actually done a couple of different activations with Isis and stuff, and she is now going to be in my life indefinitely for an exceptionally long time, for the rest of my time on this plane. And yeah, very interesting that she's come up. I love it. So first card we've got is the Emperor, and it says logic and organization will increase your success. Take charge of the situation, accept a leadership role, structure and discipline. Okay. Please excuse the setup. It's the best I can do at the moment. There is a bit of shadow on the wall and things, but it can't be helped. I can't do anything about that right now. Another card. We've got the Hermit. Time spent in peaceful meditation and meaningful solitude. Shine your light as an example to others. Seek out or become a spiritual mentor and self-discovery. Well, that is sort of ties in with part of the message. That was the meaning for that particular Isis card there, about having some time to yourself, about some self-care and getting close to nature and walking along the park or the beach, for example. The Emperor, but it does say logic and organisation will increase your success and take charge of the situation, and that again could be to do with needing to have care and sort it out for somebody else as well. You're caring for somebody. We've got the Lovers, beautiful. Embrace true love and deep intimate friendships. Make choices from the heart. Vibrant health or recovery from an illness. So that could mean a multitude of things for different people. I'm just going to get one more of these and then we're going to channel. Please excuse the view. Can't be helped. What have we got here? Isis. Transformation. A significant life experience that requires changes to be made, powerful and often unexpected revelations, breaking free of procrastination, releasing old belief systems. Wow, okay. And that sort of ties in with some of the other stuff I said there about the psychic and spiritual development, to trust your intuition. And it's about going within to plant seeds for the next stage of your life, right? So I'm a bit snuffly because I have had the flu. So after having pneumonia, interesting, but anyway. Okay, so just let me channel. Isis, what would you like to say here? Oh, she's showering everybody that has picked this pile with a light golden dust almost, but it's light pouring out of her hands and coming from her arm spaces below her wings and things like that, and it's coming right down over everybody that's picked this pile. It's very gentle, it's very soft, but it's very powerful. It will attune you to the energies associated with Isis. You might already be in link with Isis, but this is just a tune-up. And if you're new to Isis or don't really do much with Isis, this is your attunement. You're having an attunement done right now. Wow. She's in a really nurturing, mothering sort of mode today, and what she's saying is that everything you've done, you've now deserved a rest. Everything you've worked on, you're able to switch gears now. Now, maybe you can't switch gears when it comes to your work and you've got big hours, or you have to travel a fair bit to get to and from work, and there's always something going on in your life, commitments that you need to adhere to, bills that have to be paid and all those sorts of things. But what she's saying is that in yourself, in your internal spaces, in your heart space and in your head space, you can now switch gears and go into a bit of a rest mode. She said self-care is really important. I've been seeing a lot of berries and things this morning in my spirit peripheral vision before I even sat down to do this, and I knew it was associated with this particular reading. She is saying that people do need to increase their antioxidants. It doesn't matter what your gender is, you just need to increase your antioxidants. You need to pull in that nutrients from berries and things like that. I actually made a blended berry juice this morning of blueberries, raspberries, cacao and a few other things in my juicer blender, and I've mixed that up, so I'm on board with that as well. But she's saying that it's really important that people do nurture your internal system at the moment. She said people need to flush their system. You mightn't like to eat berries, but you might feel comfortable of having a few frozen berries in the bottom of a water bottle and things like that. She's saying people really do need to increase that level of antioxidants at this point in time. If you've got strawberry moisturizer, if you eat strawberry jam, you know, if you've got a blueberry body wash, really use those things at this point in time, and that will help you shift with an energy from what we've all gone through in our own lives the last couple of months. Now, the transformation card is there, and this is what she's saying. Everything is happening the way it should. There is a timepiece here, an hourglass here, and an angel holding this hourglass pointing up to spirit. And what Isis is saying is that everything's happening at the right time. You might feel things are happening a bit too fast or moving a bit too fast in your life, or you're not sure if you're willing to make those steps wholeheartedly, and she's saying it's all about divine timing. Don't worry about what's going on around you. Everything that you're supposed to be doing in your life right now is actually happening, and that could even be questioning certain friendships and the validity of certain relationships and things like that. She's saying it's all about the transformation. It's all up to do with divine timing. You're on the right path. With the Lovers cards, she's actually saying that people need to work on their heart spaces and really attune your heart chakras to the love relationships in your life. I actually said to somebody the other day, I love a particular friend of mine, but I said I'm not in love with my friend of mine. It's not a romantic love, it's a platonic love. I'd do anything for her. She's a very good friend of mine, and I'll always have my door open and my phone available for that person, even if I've shut out from the world, and that's what that level of love is. Now, what she's saying, Isis, is that you really do need to instill green in your life. If you can wear green, if you can eat green, if you could put green around you, if you've got green pillowcases or a green towel, or you feel like wearing some green makeup, or doing your toenails green, or just wearing a green pair of shorts if you're a man or what have you, it's really important to actually bring in that level of energy to do with your heart chakra at this time. She is saying that there is love in the air. She is saying that it's an energy of spring, with belts of butterflies and things like that. And what Isis is saying is that it's really important to remember that even though you're wholeheartedly pouring your love and energy into a specific person, if you're in a good connection with somebody, don't forget to make sure that you love yourself at the same time, because sometimes people's love languages are different. She's showing me that your needs will be met. And if you're one of those people that don't really speak up and say, oh, you know, whatever it is, she's saying now's the time to talk about that. So that's really beautiful. What else we got here? What deck do I want? Whoa. Okay, a heap have already fallen out, so I'm going to grab those. There's too many here. Spirit. Akasha. Your guidance is divinely guided. I just said that about the time thing here. Share your voice, come out of the cave, persecution and expression. I just said if you're not one of those people to speak up, okay? We've got answer the call. What is your soul calling you to do? Oh, okay, there's some transitions going on here with that transformation card. And we've got Star Mother. How can you mother yourself? And I'm not surprised this has come up, considering Isis is the patron of mothers, compassion, you know, maternal love and nurturing, okay? And what's this one? We've got deep replenishment, retreat, rest and be held. And that is all about tapping into that inner love that you are seeking or that you're giving to somebody or others. I just said it's also important to give it to yourself. So let me just tune into this. Yeah, Isis is saying that there's been big portals around the Akashic record realm, and it's a realm, okay, that have opened up for a lot of different people on the planet at this time. And she said, and it's in different spaces. For example, you know, somebody might be thinking about the Akashic record like it's come up now, and that's as far as it goes. Oh, cool, the Akashic record. And then that's as far as your connection to it goes at this time. Other people are actually on full-blown, you know, missions to go and tap into it, to learn how to read the Akashic cards, to do this, to do that, to meditate, to activate, to blah, 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 all that sorts of stuff. There's different sort of portals opening around that. And she's saying, and this is no different right now, Isis is saying that if people can actually tap into the Akashic, that it would be really good. Even if you can just play some Akashic record music while you're asleep at night, that would be really helpful as well, because it's aligning you to the things associated with what's going on in your life. Again, as I've said when I always mention the Akasha, that it's not about divination. It's not a form of divination. It's about the past and the immediate present, what's going on in your life right now. I mean, it's not a form of divination. I mean, it's not going to tell you what's coming down in the future, but it can certainly help and guide you what's going on in the next week or two, for example, but it's not going to give you the information you need for a long term. But she is saying tap into that people have the opportunities to right some wrongs, whether it's just an emotional level now, and go in and do that. Archangel Metatron will meet you there. So we've got share your voice, and this is about people actually speaking up and making change in their life. So maybe that's what you've been doing recently, and this is just a confirmation, and she wants you to know that you are loved. Isis is saying that you are very loved, you are very well cared for. Oh, she's just beautiful. The energy from Isis is just fantastic. I really took my breath away. I really have a lot of love and respect for this deity, you know, but she wants you to know that, you know, everything you've been going through in your life is exactly how it's supposed to be at this time, and she's proud of you, and she's pouring waves of love and energy into you. She said, don't be surprised if you see pastel colours like dusty roses, soft blues, you know, pastel yellows and pastel greens, or you're drawn to things like that out of the side of your eye, for example. That's her just pouring in gentle waves of love, okay? I'm also getting told that if you like gold, or you wear gold as in yellow gold, she's asking people to pull out your yellow gold, give it a clean, give it a cleanse, ask for a bit of a blessing over it from Isis, and wear it at this time. You really need to sort of get into your gold jewelry and come from that god or goddess energy from within yourself. Sharing your voice, maybe you have answered the call. This is what this other card is. You've answered the call, you've spoken your truth, and you're now just sitting back going, how can I mother myself? And this is why she's come in for this particular message with this reading, saying it's all about self-nurture. It's all about helping others and trusting your intuition. If there's something you don't know at this time, the answer will be revealed. But I am getting told there's no negativity associated with this reading. There's nothing hidden in amongst the energy with this reading that it's bad for people, or people are going to be fucked over somehow, what have you. It's really solid. And then it says deep replenishment, retreat, rest, and be held. And this is what she's saying. I said that earlier. It might even just be a mindset where you can now switch gears and go, thank Christ that phase is over. I've busted my ass to get to where I am right now. It could even just be emotionally, you know. Oh, look, and it says yes. Just say yes. Okay, so there is your answer. Sorry about the view, guys. It's not the best. Just say yes. Beautiful. And there's a triple goddess there, okay? Mother, Maiden, Crone. And that, again, is all about your internal perception of self and your spiritual growth. One more. We've got take a break. A life's work, not a season. Get off the treadmill. Wow. Yeah. So you've been told you need to have a break. This person here, she's out over the water. And I did say that you do need to have some time around nature, or around a park or the beach or what have you. So that comes in with that. So what else do we have here? We've got some Moonology. Yep. Can I just have 2 of these Moonology cards, please, Spirit? There's one. We've got expect powerful change, new moon eclipse. Wow. All right. I'm getting told I need 3. The energy is gaining momentum. A waxing moon. Wow. One more, please. Oh, sorry. Still feeling a little under the weather, but that's okay. Just a bit nasally. And we've got emotions are running high. Super moon. Okay, so give me a minute. Yeah, so as I've said earlier, like everything people have put into fruition, whether it's career, whether it's business ideas, let alone actually stepping into a career element. You could be enrolling in study, or you've just prepared for all of that. You've got money organized now. You're getting ready for a deposit for a house. Whatever it is that you've invested your time and energy into in the last couple of months, the energy is gaining momentum, okay? And this is a clear message from that. And expect powerful change, because you have manifested that. You have ushered in that change, however that looks for you, and emotions are running high. So you might feel rather emotional at this time. You might feel a little bit on edge. You might be a little bit snappy, or somebody else might be in your life because they're fearful. They might be a bit fearful of taking that next step, but they're open to receive. So if it is yourself, just be gentle on yourself and give yourself that self-nurturing. How can you mother yourself? And if it's not you, give that energy of Isis. Use her as a good source of inspiration to nurture others at this time. So we're going to have a look at the other cards behind here. So we've got the Buckle of Isis. And let me just bring this up in the paperwork, okay? Please bear with me, because, like I said, there is a lot of card here. Just trying to find it. Right, so the Buckle of Isis, this particular card for this particular deck, is about fertility, loyalty, birth of a project, growth with a sacrifice. It represents loyalty to family and friends, can denote prosperity in investments, the family, farming, or anything you care to name. However, there was always a price to pay at some point in these proceedings. People who give up valuable careers to care for their family, or become a nurse carer for another person, for example, and it can also indicate a new addition to the family, promotion at work, or other, which may entail overtime or more stress in life. So just be careful of that stress level. Emotions are running high, as the card said, okay? We've got the Ankh here, which is the next card. So the Ankh says here, emotional love, fulfillment, understanding, balance, the breath of life, and protection. Ankh represents love depending on which area of your life is in question. It could represent a good marriage, a love affair, a love of money, material possessions, and friendships. A love affair doesn't mean somebody's having an affair. It just means you're stepping into a new love, or your love with somebody is blossoming, okay? And we've got writing of love, communication, law, order, and discipline, a key to life's opportunities. You are open to receive new opportunities within either an existing or new relationship, and a time when you feel spiritually and also emotionally fulfilled. It can suggest that someone you are in a relationship with is helping you connect to a progressive spiritual purpose. Wow. And we've got one more, the Winged Disc. Okay, so just let me find that. Just bear with me. It's not very often I'm not on the ball with things, but there's a lot of pages here that I had to print out. So beautiful deck, Absolutely gorgeous deck. Really, really, really beautiful deck. So I'm glad that I've got it. I'm lucky to have it. It was a gift from Spirit, no doubt. The winged disc says spiritual divine guidance, inspiration and success. It's about wise guidance on a spiritual level, a strong spiritual connection, follow your intuition, ability to rise above current problems or difficulties, personal, spiritual or practical achievement, a feeling of freedom, free-flowing energies for pursuing worthwhile goals, and a time for inner reflection. Wow, that, you know how much that ties in with everything else that I've actually said today, particularly with the first card that's come out. That's crazy. Okay, so let's go to the next. Sorry, I actually just paused it for a minute there. So let's go to the next section of cards. So I'm going to be using my messages, my Ladybug channeled messages. Channeled messages from Ladybug. First card we got out is Superstition. This is a beautiful reading, guys. It's all humble and like above board. It's beautiful. There's no negativity here. We've got Ancient and Modern. We've got Supernatural. We've got Third Eye. Okay, just let me channel here. Yeah, thank you. The messages from Lady Beetle are that follow your gut feeling. If you are the type of person that has a good sixth sense or can tap into your intuition or just gauge people's energy just from their body language and stuff, now's the time to do that with your third eye. When it comes down to the superstition, it's really important to, you know, honor your superstitions. If you're the type of person that doesn't walk under a ladder because you think it's bad luck, or if you cross a black cat, you need to buy a lotto ticket, whatever those levels of superstition for you are at this time, honor them. There could be a really significant date coming up for you. You could be getting married, you could be having an anniversary of sorts, there could be something to do with your religious or spiritual calendar coming up, and Spirit's saying you really need to tap into that level of intuition with that. And we've got Ancient and Modern, and this is a clear message that everything that's come from the past is still in the modern mindset if we're still making it alive in the real world as we live our lives right now. And that's the thing with Lady Beetle. The reason why Lady Beetle is still flourishing the world over is because they don't care that there's been buildings made, that there's been, you know, cement laid down in places, that there's been, you know, there's war and all these sorts of things. Lady Beetle as a community, as a species, they just keep moving forward. They're using all their ancient knowledge and all their ancient wisdom, which is helping them remain modern and still move forward life as we are. They have no care in the world. They honestly don't. And then we've got Supernatural. What Lady Beetle wants you to know with that is, again, with the superstition and the third eye, listen to yourself. You are the supernatural. If you've got a good intuition, like I've said, now you really need to tap into that. It has come up 4 or so times, maybe more in this reading just today, just with this particular pile. And what you need to do is make sure that you listen to your gut feeling and remember that you are an amazing soul. You are in tune with what you've got going on around you. If you've got a good business prospect coming up and it looks fantastic on paper and everything seems above board and you think, yes, this is amazing, but something is off, trust that niggle, for example, and look, your other card says lucky. Okay, and Isis, she's here again. Because she sort of stepped back so Lady Beetle could come forward. Isis wants people to know that it's a really important time to self-love, that you need to love everybody around you to the capacity that they're able to receive love. If you've got people in your life that aren't the type of people that like to hug, but they really appreciate a good little loving meme and things like that, that's what you need to do. You need to honor their level of love at the capacity they're able to receive and respond to the energy of love, including yourself. Do something nice for yourself at this time. It's actually quite an auspicious time. You've got the lucky card come out, you've got the third eye, you've got the superstition. This is all really beautiful information. So I'm just going to pull one of my little decks that I've just jotted shit down on. I'm just going to pull out. This is what you need to be working with at the time, whether it's an incense, an oil, a stick, whatever is important for you. You've got dragon's blood, so purification and protection, so you need to use dragon blood at this point in your life. And can I just have one more, please? And we've got cherry, and there's attraction and love. Okay, so you need to work with cherry. That's another berry, I suppose, coming up. You might buy a candle that has a cherry smell to it to help with attraction and love, or even self-love, and dragon's blood for purification and protection. Now, I have said multiple times that when you use dragon's blood as a resin or whatever, regardless of how, if it's used on its own, it is purely for protection. When you're doing spell work, even just on its own, you can light an incense, for example, or some resin or what have you, and it is protection. If you use it with sage and things like that, it is a form of purification. But if you use dragon's blood with any spell work, it enhances it threefold. Anything at all. So just keep that in mind, okay? So that's your beautiful messages from Isis. Is there anything else you'd like to say at this time, Isis? Yeah, she's saying that people, you don't need to be, you know, paving the ground at the time. You don't need to be paving the concrete and marching around doing all this stuff. Like, you might have to do normal everyday life things, as I've said earlier, but she's saying people really need to retreat now and mentally and emotionally and give yourself that level of self-care, because everything you've worked on in the last few months, it's been a whole wave. There's been massive ascensions for people and alignments and things going on like that. And she says now's the time to switch gears and just embrace your self-love. Do something nice with your family. You know, have a gathering of some sorts if you can. Have a movie night with your loved ones and things like that. That'll really help boost the gift that you've been given from Spirit, which is your luck at this time. So yeah, it's beautiful. So much love. Thank you very much for watching pile 1, the Isis pile. Wow, different to what I anticipated. So what have we got here? This is the Horus deck, pile 2, okay? Yeah, the lighting's shit. You don't have to tell me that twice, I'm already aware. Okay, so Horus is about families. Horus is the patron of families and homes. He's about courage, creativity, balance, the arts, beauty, and family. The messages from this particular card are about strong healing energies for conditions affecting the physical body, family situations, loyal family or family loyalty, reliability and devotion. A good omen for those who feel they have been unfairly treated. And this is a personal charm and charisma for entertainers, leaders, and more. And it's about nurturing your creative talent, musical, dancing, painting, and more. Wow. So this is that space of creativity when it comes down to your family. Now, we all know family isn't always blood, okay? Family can be who you do your art group with, the band that you're in, your dance troupe, the people that you do readings with. You know, you might have a lot of friends in your life. You might do the same thing that I do. You might work in the same industry as me, doing this stuff, and you might have a really good background of friends there, and this is what Spirit's talking about, okay? Family isn't always just your actual immediate bloodline. So that's really amazing. I'm just trying to decide what cards should I use before. There we go. So Spirit is actually saying, for those of you that aren't sure on which way to turn in a particular situation at this time, to call in Horus. Again, use him as a personal charm to help with charisma, with what you've got going on in your life, okay, that he will help you at this time. You might be able to print out this picture. Actually, I'll bring it up to the screen. You might be able to screenshot that. Okay. And go from there and use Horus to really help you at this time, all right? So let's see what we got here. First card, Awakening. A temporary pause for reflection and insight, an awakening when you see things in a whole new light. Embrace your own uniqueness and charitable actions. Traditionally, that is the Fool card. You know what? That is my favorite major arcana. That and then the High Priestess. My favorite major arcana card, because that person doesn't need to be hanging there. They're choosing to be. This man's bag's open. He's got all his trinkets falling out of his bag, a key and tarot. There's a tarot card on there. The huts, you know, there's all sorts of stuff going on. So what you need to do at this time is to bring in that strong healing energy. And it says for conditions that affect the physical body or for family situations and stuff like that. So maybe you're all having an awakening together. It's got wise counsel. Unity with a spiritual minded community. Ask the divine for help and trust the answers will come. Compare traditional methods with new methods to see which is best for you. Yes, I just said family isn't always family. It could be people that you work alongside with or have hobbies and stuff with. So if you're seeking answers, there's your answer. The answer will come. Unity with a spiritually minded community, whatever that means to you. That's awesome. And we've got release. Endings that lead to new beginnings. They need to be they need to release situations or people that hold you back, and spiritual transformation. Wow. So that ties in with this card here. All of them, actually, every single one of the cards that are on the screen. Fantastic. So there has been a bit of a release. Maybe you have shuffled through your friends' lists and stuff like that. I'm just going to get 2 more of these. We've got the Empress. Time to take action, give birth to your dreams. Creative projects will be very successful. Abundance and prosperity. Wow. And the other card is the Sun. A time of great joy and success, brilliant epiphanies that lead to magical opportunities, plans that work out perfectly, gratitude to the divine. And you know what? I'm not surprised the Sun's come out, because Amun-Ra, now technically you could have the other eye of the Eye of Horus. On this card, the Eye of Horus is backwards. And I truly mean that, because the Eye of Ra will sit here and the Eye of Horus will sit off to it. So either way, but the Sun's come up, which is Amun-Ra. So you could actually be calling on Amun-Ra and Horus together at this time, which is fantastic. You've got a lot of stuff happening for you. There's really been a good shift for you, and Spirit is saying it's time that you need to switch gears and release the energy from those levels of pain that you've been through. We've got the Age of Light. You've been training for this for lifetimes. Exactly. You are now in your prime, whether it's in your career, whether it's in your emotional state, whether it's in your friendships, whether it's in, you know, your hobbies, whatever it is, you're at that primal time in your life. You're very primitive and you're stripped back to basics. You've got rid of things out of your life and you are now in your prime. There's, you know, there's a really important message going on here, and it won't resonate for everybody, I'm being told. Break the chain. Ancestral patterns, healing, rewriting the future. Yes, this is exactly what we're talking about here. The time is now. You've had a great release. There we go. People have definitely had a shuffle around from family, that's for sure. Most definitely. I've got 2 more have come out. We've got Sisterhood of the Rose, Beauty and Devotion, Priestess, Mystic and Teacher. So you might, and then that Spiritual Communities card come out before as well. So you might actually have somebody in your life that you class as a really good source of information that teaches you little things about your spirituality, or just really hits home with things, or reiterates stuff that you already know. You just think, yes, I did kind of already think that. You know, you might have some sort of a spiritual teacher. You might have a life coach, or you might be looking into having a life coach, or, you know, you might just really get into watching spiritual videos and reading books from spiritual gurus and things like that. And this is a genuine message from now. Everything you're doing is in the right energy, and to keep it up, okay? And we've got boundaries. Where do you need to establish better boundaries? And that is to do with the family and friends unit, okay? So that speaks for itself. I'm getting told to have 1 more of these. Pleiades, double mission, channeling and uplifting humanity. So you might be Pleiadian. You might be working with the Pleiades, with that spiritual teacher card. You might be doing some Pleiadian activations and stuff, and this is probably a really good time to do that at this time. Horus will guide you. Call in Horus to help you, because remember, Horus is about homes and family, courage, creativity, balance, the arts, beauty and family, and however that looks to you. I've got 3 Moonology cards here. First one, your dreams need a practical plan for Moon and Taurus, right? We've got work through your fears, New Moon and Scorpio. Yeah, well, if you can work through that, your plans will come into fruition. And the end of a tough cycle approaches, Full Moon and Capricorn. Wow. I'm not really worried about the astrological energy here. We've got Taurus, Scorpio and Capricorn, but that could mean something to you. But in this particular reading, it doesn't really mean anything at this time. It's just, it is what it is. So what we're going to do is find out what the other cards here mean. So we've got water, so I need to actually pull out the paperwork, because I printed it all out, as I said earlier. If you hadn't listened to pile 1, you'll now know I've printed it all out so I can learn them, because these cards are very old. So just give me a minute. Sorry, I'm just finding water. I'm really blessed to have these cards. It's just, yeah, it's insane. Like I said, there's only a few thousand of this deck made in the world, and I've got one right in front of us right now. Okay, so water. It's emotional change, awareness of the suffering of others and sympathy. It's change for fluid situation, definitely not a fixed condition, a time of cleansing and inner reflection. Go with the flow in a current situation. Travel across water could be suggested. Growth from the lessons learned with life experiences. Ability to recognize and empathize with those suffering various health, mental or physical conditions. Wow. Perfect card for this particular pile when it comes to endings, releasing and all that sorts of stuff. Okay, we've got the Scarab. Beautiful. Just let me find Scarab. Okay, Yeah, I'm going to probably, as I said earlier, I will print this deck out, get it reprinted so I can have a couple of copies in the house, and then I'll put the original one away. It'll need to be insured. This is the first time I've used it. Okay, so I've had it for a couple of weeks. So we've got the scarab. So the scarab is about renewal, rebirth, adaptability, acceptance, change, death of a situation, a spiritual rebirth, a new positive beginning, or different phase of life impending, the ability to adapt to a new situation, to move things around, clear out your wardrobe, try a new hairstyle, change the tools shed about, all things must pass. Death puts an end to the old, makes way for the new. Have faith or belief that life will bring something better, that what you believe might have been taken from you, and do not struggle against this change. Instead, accept circumstances. And it says, cast off the old, get ready for the new. Release the past with love and simply let it go. Wow. Okay. And then we've got pyramid. And this card says, preservation, initiation, endurance, and eternity. Initiation or test condition. On a spiritual level, the initiation is likely to be of the self-imposed kind, which means that no one else can help. Okay, this is about your own personal journey here. Time will eventually sort the whole thing out. You are being tested. Hold tight and you will make it in the end. Good news. Eventually, it is only a temporary situation and you may benefit if you use this time period wisely. Go with the flow and you may be pleasantly surprised in the end. An ancient knowledge. Far out. So you might have been through a bit of pain. Okay, Horus has been in this room this whole time, but he's been very, very quiet. So let's just see what Horus has to say. Can I have some messages from you, please, Horus, right now for this particular pile, since you are the person, the spirit, the deity, the God that we are channeling? Yeah, Horus is saying he's actually pulling sort of energy out of my back space and across through my chest, and I can feel movement under my collarbones and right across the whole span of my shoulders, from shoulder to shoulder. And he's doing that to everybody that has picked this pile. He's saying it's time for a clean up, it's time for a clear up, clear out the clutter, get through everything that you can and get rid of things, whether it's your kitchen cupboards or your emotional spaces. He showed me kitchen cupboards and then a headspace. He's saying he's really proud of how people have handled certain situations. It's okay. He said a few people have cried and cracked the shits and been grumpy and angry, but that was a build up and it could have been a lot worse. Your release could have been a lot worse when it comes to that situation, but you've had an awakening, you've had some sort of an aha moment, an epiphany, and that he is really proud of you, because even though he's been with you quietly in the background, nudging and guiding you at this time, whether you're aware of it or not, he wants you to know he's been there through this last 6 or so months, pretty much the bulk of the year, for some of you even from about mid last year, about August or so last year, right up to now. And he is saying that he will still be, whoever picked this pile, in your energy for a while to come yet. He's not giving me a specific time frame because it's different for every person. He's saying that people have taken a beating emotionally or even physically somehow, materially or financially. People really feel that something has been ripped away from them, and he wants you to know that it will be replaced tenfold. Just to have faith. Things take time, even in the spirit realm, even though there's no such thing as time, things do take time, he's saying. And it's a weird concept, I suppose, but he wants people to know. He wants you to call on him. He wants you to research him as much as you can and connect with him. If you can do some activations, particularly on YouTube and things to do with Horus, now's the time, please. He really wants you to know that he's guiding you. And he did say Amun-Ra, his brother, has come up. Can you please also work with Amun-Ra at this time? Yeah. Wow. All right. So we've got some channeled messages from Lady Beetle here. One of my own decks. Fate for real. Totem time. Oh, beautiful. Natural true self and sift through. Wow. And I've got a whole heap of them in my hand. It's not like, you know, I've just pulled out random. I mean, I just shuffled them. So fate for real, that speaks for itself. Whatever you're going through in your life is real and it's fated, and it's got to do with your path, and what you've been through in your life is really getting you to the point where you are now. He's saying you really need to be proud of yourself. Don't beat yourself up at this time, but still eliminate the bullshit from your life, whether it's paperwork or people. You really need to push through that. Totem time, I did say, Horus wants you to really learn about him at the moment and work with Horus and, you know, print out a picture of him, buy a candle of him, make a statue of him, put your love and energy into it. Don't just buy a statue and chuck it on the bench. Like, actually give him some love and care. Find out the best way to show respect to Horus at this time, and again with Amun-Ra as well. Totem time. Again, this is my channeled a ladybug messages, so you could also draw a ladybug or have a picture of a ladybug and use it at this time as well. Natural true self. You are the natural true state. You are the truest form of yourself that you could be right this very second, and then the next second, and then the next second, and then the next second. You are in existence. You are part of the universe, and everything is connected, even though we live separate lives and have different thoughts and emotions, okay? But you are in your natural true state, and to honor that at this time, release the bullshit that you no longer need and sift through. So I did say a couple of times, as did Horus, you need to sift through your paperwork, sift through your friendships, sift through whatever you've got going on in your life. Now is the time to actually eradicate those things from your life because they are no longer serving you. I'm getting told to pull 2 more Moonology cards, and then that is the reading. So much love, everyone. And Horus is saying the reason why he's been sitting back quietly is because he wants people to see that even though he's there, he doesn't have to be up in your face or loud or abrupt about him being there. He's not one of those gods that will, you know, make his symbolism appear everywhere for you to see it all the time on Facebook, on like social medias and all sorts of different things. He's not that type of spirit guide at this time to do that with your life. He wanted you to actually tap into that with him saying to you, please, can you do that? He wanted you to do it from a space of, okay, cool, informed choice, opposed to a free will thing where you see it everywhere and you haven't asked, okay? Nothing will come of this situation. Void of course, Moon. Wow, it's very dark here. So if you're having stresses and worries about what if, that is your answer. Nothing will come from that. If it's not about that, disregard it. We've got 2 more. Surrender to the divine, full moon, exactly. And the last card, we've got prosperity lies ahead, new moon in Taurus. So he did say you need to be patient. It's a timeline thing. Thank you very much. Blessed be, blessed are the witches. I am still going to be doing a podcast soon. I just didn't do it. I haven't stepped into that yet because I had some other things going on around me, which is fine. I focused on that. I've also, if you're like living in my city, I've actually got an event coming up. Go on to I can't even think now. Eventbrite.com.au and look up the event called Of the Light. I'm doing an in-person live psychic event, channeled messages from the angelic realm and tapping into people's loved ones in spirit. There's only 55 tickets for sale at $55 Australian dollars because that's what Spirit told me to do. So either way, that's coming up in October, but you do need to, the start of October, but you do need to get in and book. So much love. I'll be back. Thank you very much for watching today. Peace out.